Take me back to the early days. I know you two are brothers, founded the business together. Um, tell me from the very beginning, like what did that inception look like, and kind of the first year.
Yeah, so me and my brother, we founded the company in Christmas 2018, locally here in Sweden. Fast forward to today, 5 years later, we did $30 million, bootstrapped. But it never, like from the start, it was just something me and my brother wanted to try. Always talked about doing a company together. We said, let's try this, produce 1,000 units. And the first 2 weeks, we sold 3,000 units.
Oh wow!
Then just been all in.
So it's been a good success from the very beginning. Then, what did that initial kind of I don't say like shock, but that initial wave feel like as you brought in 3,000 sales?
We have a good story from this about the notifications on the app.
Yeah, it was crazy because for me, I come from like almost zero experience when it comes to building business and how everything works and what to expect. But yeah, it was crazy the first 2 weeks because I had the notifications on my phone for each sale that come in.
Yeah, from
So my phone
Shopify.
was ringing and plinging nonstop. So I called my brother and I was like, something is wrong with the store. I keep getting these notifications, sales are coming in, something is up. And he was like, nope, sales are coming in.
Yeah,
The dopamine level, that time of
Yeah.
period, the first during the Christmas was so much. So after in January it was a bit like you got down from all the sales and everything, but it was awesome. It was a great start.
and so you launched in your peak season. Did you know at the time? Did you do that on purpose, or was it by happenstance that you launched at what is now your peak season for your business?
I think it's we were waiting for a period when should we launch? So we started the idea on a summer, and we did a lot of prototypes and tried them at the beach, and people were coming forward, what is this, I want to try, parents, kids, everyone. And we said, okay, so when is a good time to launch something? When are people, like, when do they want to buy stuff? And Christmas in the Western world is huge. Everyone is buying gifts. So I think we saw that as an opportunity, a good start. Let's launch the brand on Christmas. So that's what we did. And since then, I think we're becoming like, we're really good at Christmas nowadays. We did, I mean, over 90% of 30 million in 30 days.
And what do you think with that Q4 density, that Christmas density in terms of sales? Do you think that is because of seasonality in terms of weather? Is it because of gifting? What do you feel like that is driven by?
Gifting,
Um,
but also one thing, we're not only selling well on Christmas, we're also usually the number one app in our category. So, for example, in health and fitness, we become number one on Christmas Day. Why? Because we're all about family fun. And what is Christmas about? Spending time with your family, having fun. So I think it's a match. It's a really good match. We're selling a product that fits well into family fun. You're having fun with family and friends. You can be 6 years old, you can be 90 years old. We have a lot of clips on TikTok of grannies playing, during
yeah.
Christmas, and it's a nice thing.
No, I love that. And I kind of have a two-part question with this based on your Q4 density or your Q4 focus. The first one, which is probably happening right now. So as you are in your slow seasons or in your off seasons, I'll call it, how do you go about adapting marketing efforts or focus? And I don't even necessarily just mean like scaling down spend on an account, but what do you do during the slow season in your business?
Good question. So I think it's two-parted. So number one is making sure that we will run an insane Q4. What that means with stock and credit, marketing, securing talent. As you've seen, we worked with like the biggest names in the US, like Tom Brady, Khloe Kardashian, Conor McGregor, and a lot of these people. So it's a lot about securing Q4, but then it's also playtime and prototyping, developing the product, the app, the community. So right now we're doing a pilot where we're creating box ball and as a team sport where you're playing 3 against 3. Doing smaller collaborations to keep engagement high, both in our app but also on social. So in Q1, we had over 200,000 players in our own app, 60,000 playing each month. We need to give them new challenges, new collabs. We always have to make something, you know. So the off season is a lot about playing, prototyping, finding new verticals, finding new types of creative for ads, testing out a lot. Because when Q4 comes, then we only focus on high converting, like push, 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 sell, sell, sell.
Well, and that actually answers my second question, which was how you go about prepping for Q4. So it sounds like your down season is the time that you do that. Like you said, figuring out what creatives are working so you can scale those quickly, looking at new verticals, and the app piece. That app piece is interesting because from what I understand about your business and from our previous conversation, you have, I don't want to call it a single SKU store, but you have one main product that has
Yes.
bundles or multiple SKUs from one product. And you've been able to scale that profitably. And it is not necessarily a repeat purchase product. Like it's not like someone's purchasing food or it's not a perishable item. So from what I understand about your business, retention for you comes in the form of the app, right? Is that a cash driving vehicle for your business as well? Is there monetary subscription or whatever it may be on the app as well?
We'd love for it to be that, but it's not at the moment.
Okay.
Right now, it's about we providing value to our customers and enhancing and improving the app. Because also the usage of the app is, if they're creating, all the players are creating content, video content. So we have, for example, I think we have over 400,000 video clips inside our app. And it's basically like TikTok or Instagram Reels. You just scroll it, the feed, and you have competitions. But right now, it's actually free. So we're only doing the business based on the physical product right now.
Okay. But maybe something in the future you're thinking of?
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of the idea of, where could we monetize. We have around 5% of our users are real pro users using it, a lot. But just looking at the Q1 numbers, which is fun to see, is that the average user is playing 14 minutes 50 seconds 2.2 times a week. That's over 200,000 people doing that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I imagine goal would be to see how you can continue to increase either frequency of use or time use per as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun part. And I think you said you have a CTO or you have someone that is kind of leading the charge with that.
Yeah, so we recruited our new CTO a year ago. He's coming from another Scandinavian scale up. He was actually the co-founder of that. And yeah, we've been talking a lot about the difference, getting really good people, like talent inside the company. So we're trying to recruit high performers, and our dev team is actually this week growing by double.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so I have a question about the celebrity piece because I know that's a big part of your business. You mentioned it earlier, but before I do, I just don't want to skip one question that I came to this with. And based on it being a gifting business for Christmas, maybe this question would not apply to you. But as you're scaling, I know one thing you've talked about is global expansion with new markets or new countries that you're going into. Do you ever see any opportunity to spread out revenue across quarters so it's not just Q4 as you scale to new markets, like when it's, I know in Australia, it's turning into winter time right now and it's becoming summer here in America.
Yeah.
Does that play into factors for you at all?
We haven't really done much of that. It's kind of like whatever works, we're scaling that.
Okay.
And right now, Q4 is so good for us in the Western world that this is work. Like, for example, if we spend $1 today, we might get $1 in profit back, pro as of one. But during the holidays, if we spend $1, we can get 3 or 4 back. So the mindset for us has been, let's focus on the period where it's generating the most effect.
Yeah. And just keep doubling down on that.
Yeah. But of
Yeah.
course, it would be nice from a risk perspective, from getting better credit, to have more sales during month 1 to 10, of course. But we
Yeah.
are
And
we
that's,
are looking to doing that. Both retail. Right now, we're 100% DTC in North America. We're looking at retail, and we're looking at different verticals. That's not about gifting.
that was a future question I was going to ask. I know retail, we had talked about it a little bit. Have you ever looked at testing out like the QVCs or the HSN channels out there?
Yeah, that could be really good. We haven't tested it yet. We've been in discussions with some of these companies. Right now, we haven't really reached any. We haven't done it yet.
Well, and you're doing amazing things with the celebrity partnerships that you're doing. Like I said, you mentioned it earlier. I noticed in a Forbes article that came out December of last year, 2023, that was covering your brand. You mentioned the celebrity or influencer process starts with drafting a list of potential people you'd like to partner with, broken down by categories like musician,
Yeah.
actors, athletes, etc. Once you have that kind of beginning list, do you have any sort of certain criteria, checklist, or process so you make sure you're partnering with people that not only will bring a positive return, but just align with your brand and the values of your brand?
Yeah, we can talk. Like, we are very much back and forth with who we're gonna work with, who we wish to work with. But yeah, we usually have like we're sending stuff to each other, and I don't know, but somehow it's in the like in the backbone of both of us. Like, we kind of know, we have the feeling of who would be a good brand representative or not, right?
Yeah, I think because when we launched, we were born in with having celebrities here in Sweden promoting the product and actually for free. So when we started the company, it felt like that was a part of it, and we got to see what kind of influencers, what kind of TV personalities, musicians that actually worked in converting in sales. And so it has been a part since day one.
And then the chase for the bigger and the bigger. So
Yeah.
we went from Sweden to UK. We launched UK Success. We worked with the big football players there, like John Terry, Wayne Rooney, Steven Gerrard. And then we went to the US. We wanted to work with a Kardashian. We wanted to work with, a Tom Brady. And it feels like the bigger they are, the better for our brand somehow. So we're trying really, really, really now this year to top last year. And it's going to be exciting to see who is going to play with this during Christmas this year.
And you have the partnership. Well, actually, let me backtrack. Like this podcast, for example, as a content engine for our agency, we can record the podcast, put it out on the channels, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. We can clip it. We can put those clips out, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and then we can take that, the whole episode, turn it into a blog, turn it into a LinkedIn newsletter, take the clips, take one piece and then turn it into multiple pieces of content. As you're looking at working with influencers, celebrities, I know you fly out, you get content, video content for them. That could be paid ads, but what are all the opportunities that you've seen or avenues of usage you've seen from those partnerships?
So yeah, 100%. So the ads part of the like the content that we can use for ads, that is usually what makes it profitable.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the post that we might buy itself never, like if they're big, it won't recover the cost. Never. I mean, we're happy if you recover 30% of the cost.
The post on their channel.
Yeah. And then we use it as ads. But it can happen that we do something with someone super big, but the ads won't perform. Like the creative won't perform. So it's always a little bit of a risk. But as we're doing so many collaborations and we have so much content, we have celebrity content, UGC, we have PGC, podcast generated content. We have, we do a mix from the app and from like smaller creators. So there's a variety of creative that we're running. But usually it's a few ads that are winners that takes the big budget, right?
No, that definitely makes sense. Has there been any specific partnerships or collaborations that you look back and you really understand that they were pivotal in the growth path over the past 5 years?
Let's do one each.
You can start.
I think they can be so different, and it depends on what you mean with the pivot. I think the first time I noticed, especially in the US, that we went to another level, it was when we worked with Khloe Kardashian. It was just crazy because I woke up on Christmas Day and Bill Gates was playing with box pollen.
Oh, wow.
It was just everywhere. It was on the news, it was on TV, it was on radio, it was all over social. People were like, what the fuck is she doing? And what is this? And so I think that was like, for me, the strongest the first time. I mean, and then there's celebrities before that. And then after that are also huge. Tom Brady, for example, huge, especially talking to men in the US. They respect him so much. And that we get a bit of that on our brand, of course.
It pops up a few different, but I'm gonna take one that is most recent. And actually, in the beginning, I was like, the idea when I heard it, I was like, not feeling it 100%. It can be good, I don't know. But it was when we were on The View.
Okay, yeah.
I know my brother had a long dialogue with them forth and
Yeah.
back, but when that happened together with Tom Brady,
Wow.
it was our single most best day ever. It was insane. So that was a huge one.
Yeah. And it was so, in a way, it was almost like a celebrity collaboration within The View on national TV in the US, because me and my brother we went to New York to coach one of the co-hosts, Sarah Haynes, on national TV, live. We've
Yeah.
never done that before. So it was almost like filming a behind the scenes of how we work with the celebrities, but we did it for real. And we had like 2 takes. It was, okay, it's done. And I was just looking to my brother. I was like, shit, did we do
Yeah.
good or not?
Yeah.
They were so fast and so efficient. And then like they do episodes every day, I think 300 days of the year.
And do you, I know you said with the clips you're getting from celebrities and stuff, you will run them. Do you ever take like I'm going to say PR different from celebrity, even though they're kind of the same, but like the View or a news reel or something. Do you ever take that and run that as a paid ad as well?
So just for The View, we can't do that.
For licensing and yeah.
It's a rights issue. We cannot, of course, who is owning the rights? It's, So first, and it's a shame because, it's so good on TV, but then it's just there one time.
Yeah.
And we actually did The View a second time in January, and it was really good as well. So I think this year we're going to allocate more budget to TV actually, and that is kind of going backwards, right? In a way, like everyone is doing stuff online now, but we're looking towards like, oh, TV, wow, that can be really good. Let's maybe do more TV.
Yeah, I think the news interviews are very interesting. We worked with a company out of Australia. They were a sustainability company, so they're kind of a disruptor. people didn't understand necessarily on first look what the product was. And we did that for them, like Channel 10, Channel 11 news. It would start in the newsroom, introducing it, and then go out to the field reporter at their factory, and then go back to the newsroom. So we would just take that completely unedited, and then Channel 10 news is the headline and some boilerplate copy. And what we noticed, though, running conversion campaigns, is it would get like 4,000 likes, 1,500 shares, lots of comments, because my assumption is people are consuming it on Facebook like it's a normal post. You know what I mean? And then it's just automatically getting that awareness and that mass adoption and driving people to the website. In the Australian market, it was a lot easier because PR is not like it is in America where you have to pay for everything. In Australia, it's a lot more kind of like you were saying in your original country you were running in. It wasn't like you're having to pay for everything that you were getting that way.
I understand why it can work. That's actually, you know what's a great idea that came from this? It's with AI generation, create a news article about our brand and our product, and then run it as an ad.
Yeah. Those you can make those look like BuzzFeed. Really, what you make it look like depends on your audience and what they're naturally consuming that way. But yeah, that can definitely be good. And as you're continuing to scale out, as you're continuing to grow, you're getting sales, I mean, very fast, right? Have there been any learning experiences when it comes to inventory or forecasting or anything of that sort that you've kind of been able to experience and learn from?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's always hard with forecasting. So let's rewind to 2 years ago. So it was our third year. We've just done $12 million, launched the US that year. And we were like, okay, so we produced 600,000 units that year. We thought, okay, how many are we gonna do next year? Because we want to double, right? So we said, let's do 1.2 million units, and then add some little more. Let's do 1.4. And standing with 1.4 million units, like in April, May, that's a lot of volume on the shelf that we are responsible for selling. So you're always, oh shit, are we going to be able to do it or not? But every year since start, always sold out every Christmas. And this year, like we ended at 30 million, but we said like we had to stop our marketing the last 2 weeks because we didn't have stock. So I think we would have ended maybe at 50 million if we had stock. But it's also a capital question. You need money to be able to produce stock in advance. And, as I said, we've been bootstrapping, so we don't have endless funds.
Yeah.
We can negotiate a certain amount of credit, but that's it. So, doubling every year is basically what we can do now without any external capital.
You're succeeding very well at it. Your two brothers that co-founded the business. What's the working dynamic look like between the two of you? Who's responsible for what? Do you have certain things you divide and conquer, or?
Yeah, I would say like month 1 to 9, maybe. We're of course working together. We have this office together, but that's the time when I'm digging in more in the production part, the logistic part, recruiting people, doing maybe tasks that are really boring that just needs to be done for the business to be running. And then month 10 to 12, it feels at least that we're working like super close because we need to be synced in everything, in all the details, all from the trips we need to schedule, to the celebrities we need to visit, to the where we need to have the logistics set up. It's always small changes, fast changes in the end. So that is the time when we need to work super, super, super close.
No, that definitely, yeah.
When we go together, like we call it the Christmas tour. It's like Mariah Carey every year. You're gonna do the tour, right? So yeah, we fly out wherever. Usually, like last year, we went to Dubai to film Conor McGregor. We went to the UK to film some footballers. Then we flew to the US to LA and to film Eva Longoria and Jessica Simpson. And then to New York to film Tom Brady and do The View. So it's very much like we're on tour, renting houses, living at hotels, flying here, flying there. We went even out to New Mexico to film John Jones, the UFC heavyweight champion. So and yeah, so right now, like for me, I'm more now, the marketing, the brand, the e-com, also hiring a lot of people, very involved in the app development, all the design. And then there's a lot of negotiations. We're, in an M&A process, maybe selling half the company this year. So there's a lot of, work with meetings and negotiations, negotiating credit. Not everything is set for this year yet. We're, reviewing different offers, who is better, who can we get a better deal with, doing some podcasts like this. Yeah, so there's a huge variety in the work, but we're a small team, and everyone on the team is doing a lot. But I kind of like it that we're a small team. I actually do.
Yeah, and I know you have a revenue goal. I know you have a goal of becoming a global brand with expansion that way. You just shared you're looking at maybe selling 50% of the company to someone that can help bring in a new, fresh perspective on growth, right? New opportunities that way. But just looking ahead, 2024, 2025, what are your aspirations for the future of the business? Are there any just key summarized goals or key things that you'd really like to get to?
So this year we're projecting $60 million in
Mhm.
revenue, with 10 million EBITDA. And the year after, we're projecting $120 million, and that will be magical because the $100 million mark. I think even you talked about it in your podcast with Ben. There's a 0 point something percent of all companies in the world surpassing $100 million in top line. So that is, of course, been a huge goal since day one. I've actually said $1 billion, but no one believes me. So that is the monetary goal, right? To grow the business, grow the revenue, grow the profit. But we're also a purpose driven business, and we want to inspire people to move and have fun. That is really what we want to do. And we have a side goal. We call it a side goal, and it's to become the world's fastest growing sport at some point.
And define sport. Does that mean like
Well,
a
CrossFit, for example,
okay?
was the world's fastest growing sport for a while. I
Yeah.
think pickleball or padel was for a while. I don't know which it is now, but we want to be on a global level where everyone in the world can participate in our competitions and win cash money prizes.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Is it when you say sport, is it like
Yeah,
a
pro.
televised gathering type situation?
Yeah, with spectators, big arena, big prize. I see one day someone winning $1 million on playing box ball.
I love that. Yeah. And I mean, you've had amazing growth in your first 5 years. I think the next 5 to 10 years is just going to continue to see great opportunity. If you had to summarize everything we've discussed today, I say into a marketing mindset to shamelessly plug the name of the podcast, but into just an overall business mindset. What mindset should marketers or business owners have?
I think let you talk about the winning thing.
Yeah, we discuss me and my brother a lot forth and back, and sometimes we send some clips on from TikTok and Instagram. And he sent me something about winning because I've always been, since I was a kid, obsessed with winning, and I've never reflected why. And I think it comes down to that if you're not wanting to win or going for the win, the only thing you're left with is losing, right? So, and for me, winning, what is winning? So it's kind of diffuse, but winning is doing your best. And for us, making the numbers each year, because that is some kind of a receipt that if we reach the numbers we have won this year, we have reached our goal, and we're gonna do all our best to come there. And everyone knows from sports and business that you're not gonna make everything on the way. You're gonna lose, 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 lose. But if you keep striving for winning, in the end, you have at least a chance of reaching the goal that you set from the start. And I think that is a mindset that I've had since I was very young, but I've never reflected it until the last couple of like months, weeks. And yeah, I think that something comes from the business life, reflecting, and also these kinds of podcasts talking about mindset and marketing and sales and everything around it.
Yeah, I love that. This is going to be kind of pulling something from left field, but where you were talking about how winning the journey, there's some losses along the way, right? And I was watching the Dana White interview on the Lex Friedman podcast recently, and he was getting asked about his gambling because he's very vocal about how he loves it, and he said he doesn't look at it as if he loses one night, like that's a loss. He looks at it as he knows it's a year long, a multi-year long war that he's in, and he focuses on the averages out of that or coming out on top from the overall journey that way.
Yeah.
So
We talked a lot about this, because sometimes we say that we almost live like pro athletes and our sport is business. So we're so focused and so obsessed with our results that we're willing to basically do anything. It's the top priority in both our lives right now. And we feel like we are winning, even though we might be losing a lot on the way. We have struggles all the time, and all entrepreneurs and all business owners know that every day it's a new challenge. Something is going wrong. You need to fix this. And I believe if you never accept that you stop when you're losing, if you continue to go, then you can win, right? So it's only if, okay, so in sports, there's a referee or a time limit, right? So after a game, it's over. Someone won, someone lost. But I think in business, you don't have that time frame. You can go on basically until you die. So yeah, that's like we're a lot about mindset. We talk about it, like me and my brother reflecting a lot. And one thing, if I can say one thing that I want to bring on this podcast is about being able to take no's. The word no. When someone says no, I like nowadays, I kind of expect people to start saying no. When I want something for our business with another company or another celebrity or what, I always assume it's gonna be hard, it's not gonna work, you can't work with this person, you can never do 100 million. It's always gonna be no, you can't do it. And learning that, okay, it will maybe take 7 no's until we get a yes. That made a huge difference for me.
I actually just had a side question pop up as you were saying that as well. Something you said made me think of it. Let's say 6 years ago, you had this dream for this company. Do you feel like you see how far you've come today comparative to where you were 6 years ago?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I see it mostly on the external, like how people talk about it. Like from the beginning, it was just a plastic ball. And I had even some of my close friends laughing at me and saying, what are you going to do with that ping pong ball? Why are you leaving your nice consultancy life? Because I was a consultant, like a freelancer. I charge a lot by the hour. And I left all that for this. And they were like, what, a plastic ball? Come on. And someone like, we've been hearing
a lot of different things.
yeah, always like someone said like a really like a good business, like a businessman, like, oh, I don't think you're gonna sell more than 8,000. It's always hard to reach that 10,000 units mark. And now, I mean, we've sold over 2 million units worldwide to date, and it's just looking better and better. And now people are kind of understanding and asking us for advice. Oh, how do you do that? How do you work with celebrities? So we're actually helping a lot of Scandinavian startups working with celebrities in the US now. And that is about, I think it's how willing are you to take a risk? For me, marketing is risk.
Yeah, because you never know. As someone that
You
has to
never
sell,
know
as someone that has to
until
sell
you've done it.
marketing, yeah, all the time, you never know, and you can't promise anything.
I would actually say about the question, I would say both yes and no, because I'm very much like this when I do stuff. I don't really
Mhm.
care about so much about what happens outside for others. I'm so like I just want to win. I just want to make the goal for my team, and I've just it feel like the task that I had in the beginning, because when we started this, I had no experience in building companies, so it was just tasks. I just needed to solve this. I need to do this and this and this and this, and it's the same today. It's different tasks. Maybe some things are bigger than it was before, but it's just like doing new things over and over and over and over again. Just being it feels almost like being a beginner on new stuff, on new stuff, on new stuff over and over. So in that perspective, it's pretty the same, I would say, work wise.
Yeah, and I asked because just for like a physical example, I was on a flight back from Vegas 2 weeks ago, I think, and I was on the plane. I was just sitting there, right, and then I see another plane go by us in the other direction. I went, "Holy crap, that plane's going really fast!" And then I thought, "Oh, we're going the same speed, right?" And when you're in it every single
Yeah,
day, it's very easy to forget uh, the magnitude of what you're doing.
yeah, and that is actually so true. But just to connect on what you said, that is actually one of the skills I appreciate the most with my brother. It doesn't matter what we're gonna do, just do it. And
Hmm.
I love that mentality. I mean, sure, I have much more experience within content, creative, and marketing and all that, but having someone on your side, like a team player, that whatever, like if you have a crazy idea and we're gonna do something like advanced, it doesn't matter if it's advanced or not. He's just gonna do it, and I really like that. I appreciate. It's inspiring.
The ability to take something and break it down into multiple
I would
different.
say maybe even the ability to not care if the outside world says, "Oh, you should not be able to do this. This is really hard."
Hmm.
Like, for example, it could be, as he was saying, every day is something new he has to learn or do a task. Like, the analogy would be like, I could say, like, fuck, I think let's try to build a rocket ship. And he would just say, okay, let's go. Let's find the people. Blah, 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 blah. Let's do that. So it's just the, the all in.
Hmm.
Like, for example, the view. You were like, yeah, maybe, maybe not. But then we decided to do it, and then it was just all in, and then it was super good. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's. I think if you kind of like sometimes working with professionals, they're so much in their industry, they've almost set some limits for themselves. Like this is what we do. We don't do that. I would say like the outside of the box thinking and acting.
I think that has been one of the key components, like because we're such a small team, and for the most years it was me and my brother. So all the ideas that we had forth and back, it was so close to action on everything. Even trying and it doesn't work, but okay, let's try the next thing, next thing, and next thing.
And that's the entrepreneurial element as well, right? Of I think what you're saying, Jacob, is sometimes maybe in the corporate environment or things such as that, if someone specializes in product design or product development, they're not going to want to
Yeah,
take the time and energy to learn something outside of that craft, right? Where with both of you, it sounds like really focusing on knowing things need to get done and making them happen, regardless of what it takes to get there.
simple as that.
Yeah. Well, for anyone listening who's in the stage of figuring out what they'd like to do in the marketing industry, what marketing role or roles do you think will have the highest demand opportunity in the next 3 to 5 years?
Interesting question. I think you talk about the Swiss Army knife
Hmm.
of the type of creative marketer, right? And you talk about the one man band a lot. I think with AI coming so forward now, like I think everyone will have like a production studio in their hand. right? So I think it's going to be even more important to know, to have the feeling. Like it sounds weird, but I think being more in tune and in touch with your like human marketing brain to be able to control AI for desired outcomes. I think that is like the type, like I don't know what the name of the role is, but like because the production aspect I believe is gonna be outsourced to machines. Like if you see the latest video like Sora or what it's called, it's just so good. And Mid Journey and all, and how long have they been on the market? I mean, imagine in 2 3 years how good it will be. Then I think the one who knows what to do, and maybe even getting AI to assist in that part as well, because I think the production and the media buying.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think being able to think outside the box, because I think the AI will, for a while at least, be very good at thinking inside the box.
Hmm.
So being an outside thinker that is very broad, that is what I think. And then someone that is hungry, that want to produce results, um, performance based Swiss Army knife marketeer.
Any thoughts on your end?
Well, I don't have a good solid answer that pops up, but I will say this, that maybe going back a few steps is that if you're thinking about starting a business before choosing what to market and what tools and what area, and that is just to try and find something that you really enjoy. It doesn't have to be something that you love the most in the world, but something that you enjoy doing and that you're committed to spend 5, 10, 20, 50 years forwards. At least that you can visualize it in your head, seeing that this is something I can do. Because when you do something and you create something new, it's going to pop up so many opportunities, so many small roads where you can pivot and find different things that you're going to fall more in love with. We talk a lot about in our business that one day we only want to do the thing that we think we are the absolute best and what we enjoy most. And that is also to leave behind the stuff that maybe is not as fun, like the logistic part, the production part, the bringing in the capital stuff. So it's a kind of mixed answer you will get on that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I mean, you think you get from 0 to 16 to 18, and then from 65 up to not work. So that 45, 50 years, which is the most of your life, you might as well find something you love to do.
Yeah.
And not look at it as waiting until you're 65 because you've already burnt up a lot of years. And like you were saying, Jacob, with the AI piece, I definitely agree with that. Sam Altman had an interview on a podcast recently, and they brought up the concern people have of, oh, it's going to take our jobs. His mindset was with ChatGPT, with AI, like what 5-second task can it replace? And then what 5-minute task can it replace? And then what 5-day task can it replace? And it's still, at least in the foreseeable future, in his mind, the next 3 to 5 years, even when you have a creative, designer tool or Sora or something like that, still going to require, exactly like you said, someone to make sure it makes sense, someone to coordinate and orchestrate it all so that it's running effectively that way. So, well, this has been a good conversation. Where can listeners connect with you, learn more about your business?
Our website, boxballen.com, Instagram, boxballen, TikTok, boxballen.
Perfect. Well, Jacob, Victor, I appreciate you both coming on the podcast today and sharing your journey.
Colby, thank you.
Thank you.
See you.